There are pink ladies in Greece, but the dumb question is, can I paint the pink ladies using only pink? That's right, the Scene Series sketchbook is out because we're painting Greece. And not just any Greece, this is the scene that we're painting. Completely different colours from the last one where we only used ink. We are painting portraits again. 3 people, quite small. I think this is gonna be pretty difficult, especially because we are only using pink. That blue washi is the one that failed last time. So let's grab pink. Hopefully this will be enough. Honestly, I'm still a little bit scarred. You'd think that we're not using very much washi tape, but there are 4 pieces. It's a B5 sketchbook. This is the Etcher hot pressed. And you'd be surprised how much washi we get through, especially when some of these rolls are tiny. These are the pinks. Hopefully there's enough. Saying that, I do have a lot of pinks in this palette. Initially, I was thinking, you know what? Let's just use every pink. Let's go for it. Which we are kind of doing for this background. Using wet on wet, making a big old mess before drying it off with a hairdryer. And it was at this point that I realized we need to paint black. And this hair is quite dark. So we're just gonna have to pick any pink and hope we can pull it together. You know what though? I think shell pink will be pretty good for the face. It's the lightest pink. It's got white in it. And I do use this a lot for portraits, but I guess I also use yellow. So we're just gonna have to make do. I dropped it. Why do I always drop it? Every single time. Now, last time we painted the Rocky Horror Picture Show using only 1 bottle of ink, but we also made up some dilutions that gave lots of different grey tones. I think this is going to be harder because this isn't just monochrome. We have different shades, different colours here. I think it's going to be harder. I think this is going to be a challenge. Not only that, but we've got 3 subjects and we want them to look different. For these black clothes, I don't know what we're going to do for that. I don't have a pink dark enough. I guess mauve? Mauve might be the darkest. This is straying on purple, I know. But look how gorgeous this shade is. And this movie was actually requested by Karen, so thank you so much. I hope I might have done it justice. I don't know, this was a difficult one right from the very beginning. For starters, the faces are tiny. This is more zoomed out than I like to do for portraits. I like to do portraits up close. Painting 3 characters this far away? This is a challenge. Do you know how much I'm struggling right now with this? And I made this palette in a bit of an odd way. As you saw, there are loads of pinks. There's also a lot of yellows. Like everything on the right side there is yellow or brown. So there aren't that many blues. I did make this palette to be used for portraits mostly. Unfortunately, I didn't quite think about backgrounds. That's been the hardest part with this palette. I designed it for portraits. Lots of yellows, lots of pinks, not many blues, hardly any greens. Yeah, it's probably not the smartest choice. It's probably not very versatile, but it means today we've got loads of pinks to work with. So the movie is Grease. I'm gonna be honest, when I picked this movie, it didn't cross my mind in the slightest that the last one was also a musical. I don't know how I missed that. The 2 are pretty similar. Well, they're not similar, but they're a similar genre. So yes, we've got 2 musicals, but you know what? I think we're gonna change it up. Obviously, we're gonna be painting a horror for Halloween. It's gonna be the 3rd one, which is absolutely crazy. First, we did The Omen, and then we did Jennifer's Body. I think I'm gonna go a little bit more old school this time. So that's Halloween. But the next episode of the Scene series is actually going to be slightly different. I haven't painted it yet, but rather than a painting process, it's actually going to be explaining the entire process of how to paint a movie scene so that you can paint one too. And I think it's going to be fun. But for now, we are on Grease. I rewatched Grease to paint this scene, and I actually watched the second Grease too, which was odd. I know the second Grease got a lot of hate and a lot of people don't like it. Personally, I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was bad, but it does have a very different vibe. The first one is almost like a theatrical, and the second is just a little bit more like a film. So I can get why people have favorites, and I can get why a lot of people didn't like the second one. But considering I don't have a huge attachment to the first, because for me, nostalgia is like High School Musical. That's what I grew up watching. Oh, and I must say, I saw a lot of High School Musical in the second Grease. A little bit in the first too, but I guess they must have taken inspiration from it because High School Musical is very similar. But yeah, I didn't mind the second one really. It's a fun film. My only complaint is that I think they put a little bit too much emphasis on hiring the actors rather than making sure that they could sing well. I mean, the first one has literally Olivia Newton-John, and nobody in the second compares to her, like anywhere near. So yeah, I would have liked slightly better voices in the second, but I really didn't mind the storyline. I actually quite liked it. Saying that, the first is absolutely iconic. The songs are classics. The characters are much stronger. I'm gonna be honest, they do have a lot of good songs, but I think my favorite is still Hopelessly Devoted to You. It's just iconic. It's like a big ballad. I love it. And of course, You're the One That I Want. That one's also really good. Aside from the obvious ones, I guess. It really is a classic, and I don't think it's aged too poorly, all things considered. So when it comes to this scene, this is actually very early on in the movie. It's the very first time that we see the pink ladies turn up. The lead gal is in the middle with what would be a black t-shirt. The gal on the left with a very unfortunate haircut. And on the right, I just really could not get any likeness there. I don't know exactly what happened. Maybe the screenshot that I had wasn't super good quality. I couldn't figure out how to make the face look like her. But we're trying. The problem is, all of it kind of looks the same, and I've used a lot of mauve. I've used it in the face, I've used it in the top. So what color is this top gonna be? I'm running out of pinks. I don't know if using different colors was the right approach for this, but still, we're layering the hair. I think we just need a bit more contrast. To be honest, I probably should have allowed myself to add a Payne's Grey or a dark blue or something in to really deepen those colors, because it was very difficult to get contrast just using the pinks. And the reason why the pinks are so separate is actually something I decided to do once I started. So I decided to use a different pink for the hair and a different pink for each of the clothes, just because it almost looks like swatches. I thought it would be a really cool way to see each of the pinks so that you can see exactly what they look like and exactly how they work together. So starting on the left, the hair is cadmium red and the clothes are permanent rose. Then in the middle, the hair is potter's pink and the clothes are mauve. Then on the right, the hair is Pyrrole red and the clothes, once we paint them, are alizarin crimson. I felt like keeping them separate like this would just be a really good reference to see how different the pinks are from each other and decide which one to choose if there's a certain pink that I'm looking for, because I think it's a lot easier to judge when you see it in a piece like this. And now with the alizarin crimson down, I think you can see that each of the pinks are pretty different, especially the potter's pink. But even something like the permanent rose on the left there, I think it does look really different to the others. The cadmium red is the most red leaning out of all of them, but they're all really different. And maybe this is your sign to add more pinks to your palette, because I don't think they're samey. They're all very different from each other. I might be a little bit biased because I absolutely love pink, but out of these 6 colors, which is your favorite? They're just all so different from each other. I will say though, before I got this cadmium red, I thought I hated red. I had a vermilion. It was a very cheap student grade one in my first palette. I didn't like it at all, so I thought that I hated warm reds. And I think the cadmium red is a little bit warm, so maybe it's just vermilion that I wasn't a fan of, but I thought I hated reds and I really steered away from them until I got this one. Absolutely love the shade. It's like a proper red without being too orange, which I think vermilion is a little bit. So I haven't replaced that shade. I wouldn't say I dislike red. The colors I dislike are actually like green and orange. For a color that I dislike and don't reach for, it does come up a lot. Like obviously it comes up in every single plein air painting, but also because green is opposite pink on the color wheel and I do use pink a lot, I end up having to use green a lot, more than I would choose voluntarily. Orange, on the other hand, is not a color that I choose to reach for. I've recently been loving cadmium orange for skin tones, but that's the only use that I can find for it. Are there any colors that you don't like? I did a poll recently and somebody did say red, and I think somebody said blue, and that's kind of crazy. It's crazy that we can all dislike such different colors, and I'm sure there are people out there that don't like pink, and if they're watching, they probably hate seeing me use pink so often. We are almost finished with this painting stage, so I want to say a huge thank you to my patrons. Sketchbook buddies, your names are on screen. Thank you so much for all of your support. It really means the world and helps me make videos like this, as well as the bigger, more crazy videos that are coming up. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that I love to make these videos for the scene series because they're chilled and they also give me a break to work on bigger projects. This series is a lot easier to edit, which gives me more time to focus on the bigger projects. So I really appreciate you tuning in for these episodes because there's a lot of crazy stuff I want to do this summer. And with that, I think the painting's done. Almost. We need these white gel pens. This step is essential, okay? If you've ever painted or drawn an eye and feel like it's missing something, add a white highlight. Honestly, it completely brings it to life. I might have gone a little bit overboard with this though. You can in fact add too much highlight. I've done that before. So we're turning it down a little bit and adding a bit more paint to cover up the highlight. It was just a little bit too bold, okay? Well, this might just be the most difficult painting we've ever done for the scene series. It was a struggle the entire way. The pinks are chaotic, they're all separate, but I would love to know your thoughts down below. What do you think? Is there likeness there? Did I manage to draw the pink ladies using only pink? Let's see. Peel off the tape and here they are. The pink ladies. It really is crazy. It was kind of a difficult reference photo and contrast was a problem because these are the pinks that we used to make this. Just the 6 shades, which do look pretty different next to each other, but that's it. We're all done. Thank you for joining me for another episode. I'll see you back here in a few days' time. Bye bye.